All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate the jumping over so quick. Anyone watch WrestleMania? Stephanie Lake is asking. I read something about WrestleMania and John Cena. What was that about? Because I'm curious. Because I saw something and I saw that I don't like John Cena. So anyway, up tech, Teresa, Adam, Dobie, Wallace, thank you for the 5x5. Renee, Christian, let's go. Chance, Chanel, Preptodap, Maria, thank you for the 5x5. Kathy, Rhonda, Tina, Patty, thank you for the 5x5. Prepper Revelator, Hudson Valley Prepping, thank you for joining me again. Streetwise, Eric, Base Awkward, thank you for the 5x5. Another friend, Evolving Media, Water Tiger, Master Blaster, Sean, thank you for the 5x5. Jane, what's going on? Greco, Raccoon, Gary, Cowboy, thank you for the 5x5. Adam, thank you for the 5x5. Did John Cena come out of the closet? Yeah, he should have. Oh, Stephanie said because John Cena is retiring soon. I thought he retired. Whatever. Pop Tart, Remy, thank you for the 5x5. Sil C. Susie, thank you for the 5x5. Paula, Gary, Monica, Susan, Brian, thank you for the 5x5. Adrian, Black Wolf, thank you for the 5x5. All right, guys, let's get on with this bullshit. Have a lovely evening. Oh, somebody's I got to shoot tomorrow morning at 6. Jesus, I'm gonna throw my head against the fucking concrete. You make a plan and then you sit back and you think about it. You're like, why did I do that? That's where I am now. So this chick I shot with yesterday, Sunday. I forgot when I shot with her, but whatever. I shot with this chick Sunday or Monday, whatever it was. No, it wasn't this Sunday. It was early this week. Excuse me. It was like Thursday or some shit like that. Just texted me her email so I could mail the pictures to her. But yeah. So guys, the bullshit that we've been told, the lies. Now, listen, I have to give Trump a little wiggle room on this topic, and very little. I mean, like fucking microscopic, because we've been played by every politician that's ever walked the planet. Bush Pig, Wanda, Ekte, thank you for 5x5. Josh, thank you for 5x5. Lisa, Colt, thank you for the 5x5. And Deanna, appreciate it, guys. All right. So we've been lied to every step of the way. And Trump came out and sat there and said he was going to release files left and right. So he doesn't. No files are released. The JFK files are released, and there's no implications in those files. They didn't say exactly who did it. I think they pointed in the direction of the CIA, but the CIA will always get the blame for everything. And I'm starting to think, guys, maybe the CIA isn't the answer, because, like I said, they get blamed for all and anything that goes on, and they're an easy out. They're absolutely an easy out. You could look at some shit that goes on, and you're like, the CIA. So I don't think that they're always the case. Do they play a large part in the bullshit? Absolutely. But are they always the case? I don't think so. Nonetheless, guys, where are the arrests? The arrests that was supposed to be made, they found out that money was being stolen from us. Where are the arrests? Why isn't the Biden administration being arrested? Why isn't Trump outing or exposing the Hunter or the Biden pardons that were handed? Granted, all right, fine, he can't arrest Hunter Biden, but he can expose their bullshit, but he hasn't done that. And I'm gonna jump back into something that I've been beating my fucking chest and head over, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. And people keep saying, they keep making excuses for Trump. Well, they keep making excuses. Well, arrests take time. No, they don't. Not in this case. Not when you have a lot of shit dead to rights. Not when you're looking at all of these accounts, these fake accounts where money is being sent to, and then it's being distributed to different politicians. And they can look up and who has access to those accounts, and they don't. They have all of this money being stolen from us, but is it being given back to us? No. There's seemingly more people owe taxes this year for some strange reason and not getting anything back. But that's why. So this money is disappearing. It's being given to other people in other countries. And yet they tell us we owe more in taxes this year. Why is that? Something is definitely off. And yet, Trump is not arresting anyone. He threatened to throw Hillary Clinton in jail a bunch of years ago. That didn't happen. He says, I'm going to release the JFK files. All right, they're released. Now what? Nothing. The Epstein list, I could have sworn he promised it, or somebody in his camp promised that they were going to release that list. That list still hasn't come out. And I know why it hasn't come out. And not because he's on it. I don't think he's on it. I think other people are on it, and they just want to keep that quiet. You guys pay income tax? I hadn't paid my taxes in years, and then I started paying again like a fucking asshole. Because I'm a moron. But anyway. Hunter Biden should be in jail, but his pardon doesn't allow him to be in jail. And Trump should be exposing the intricacies of his pardon. These pardon guys don't make sense that they're ironclad. Like, so Hunter could have did whatever he did, and Trump can't find a loophole to go after him? Everybody put the Trump administration on this fucking pedestal. And I told people, do not put politicians on a pedestal at all. Don't put Kamala Harris, Biden, Trump, Obama, the Clintons, whatever asshole comes behind Trump, don't put him on a pedestal. This is bad. Beef and chicken. You're now getting back to my fucking weight after I said it on the Angry Prepper. I am 5'10" at 270. Auto Pen signed the pardon. It doesn't matter who signed it. The fact that it's ironclad that you can't get any of these people, that they came out with a blanket pardon for people who didn't commit a crime, supposedly. And again, nothing is being said about it. You got immature monkeys that are like, well, they should protect him because Biden's going to throw him in jail. Well, I think Hunter Biden deserves to be in jail. People like Trump deserve to be in jail. Look what he's done. He's done what? He's done absolutely nothing. I mean, granted, he probably does some scumbag shit. But yeah. He's definitely done some scumbag shit. You're cooking dinner. All right, my bad. Sorry. And that's the thing. Restore justice. Yes, lock them all up. What? Again, these people are... Martha Stewart, for example, right? The whitest white lady in America, right? If you came to fucking white America, you said, hey, who's the whitest woman you could think of? Martha Stewart. But anyway, they throw her in jail off of some bullshit. Some bullshit. And what she went to jail for was complete garbage. And yet, kids are missing. Kids are being sold on a daily basis. And they can't find that. They can't find any of these kids. No one thinks that's suspicious at all. Trump said that he was going to do something about it. The new FBI director, I think, said that he was going to do something about sex trafficking, and nothing's being done. Now, that might take a little time. But I also know, guys, that I could tell you offhand the groups of people who are religious and moving kids around America. Matter of fact, they're hardcore Bible thumpers that hide behind the Bible. And they are moving kids around. And so yet, if I know this, and I know this for a fact, why the fuck isn't anybody else doing anything about it? Why isn't any other politicians doing something about it? In fact, in the same group out west somewhere, they have a sheriff under their nail who does the dirty work for them. And so I know that this sheriff is dirty. I live all the way in New York City. You mean to tell me that these politicians don't know who these fucking people are? A little bizarre, if you ask me. A little strange. It's just very, very odd. And it is Brian, you're right, it's a big ass club. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be protecting the kids and doing what needs to be done. And at the very least, exposing these people. Now, I know one group is looking to expose that group I was talking about. Now, I don't know their name per se, but I know where they are. And there's one group looking to expose them, but my bone to pick with groups like that is like they sit there and they'll go, well, we got to wait on the Father's word. We got to wait on God to tell us when to move. That can't always be your excuse. That cannot always be your excuse. The Father's telling you to move now because you're finding out this information as it comes to. And if the information is landing at your feet, that means you're supposed to move on this shit. But a lot of people hide behind the Word, the Bible, God, Yeshua. They're sitting there like, well, he didn't tell me to move yet. He is telling you to move. You're just too fucking scared. And that's what it comes down to. Now, I wasn't given the location of this group for the reason of, I think they thought I was going to do something about it. Maybe, maybe not. Nonetheless, you can't hide behind God all the time. And you can't use it as an excuse. You really can't. But a lot of people do. A lot of people are like, well, God didn't tell me to. Sometimes you got to do the rough thing. Sometimes you got to do the rough shit. You got to do the crazy shit. Deception is everywhere. That's the problem. Yeah, here's the sign. Now, right. If the shit is landing at your fucking doorstep, man, I mean, the names and the groups and the locations, that's the time to move. Really isn't. Well, Jesus is king, but that you still can't hide behind that shit, man. You gotta fucking move. When it's time to move, it's time to move. And when you get the information, that's the time to move. You know, I don't know, man. I think, and it's not just with that. It's with a lot of other things. I was talking to a guy, and he told me about a situation, and he said, well, God is telling me not to move yet. What? Tommy said you got to keep his laws. You have to keep his laws, but if the information is pushing you in the direction you're supposed to go in, why do you then stop and go, we can't do anything else? You're on a path. You're on a roll. You keep moving. I mean, I found out about another group who did the same shit, and I was just like, what the fuck, man? It's everybody stops when it comes to the hard shit. Everyone. And everyone, Tommy, everyone cannot simultaneously all of a sudden stop, throw their hands up and go, well, Jesus told me not to move yet. At the same time? All at the same time. Someone says, I do believe that talk is cheap. Action is the only way to deal with, at least behind all of the corruption. Whose heart turns away from the Lord? I guess, but again, you can't use that for every bad thing that happens. Or every time you're about to do something scary, you go, well, the Lord told me not to do it yet. That sounds like fear. Fear is telling you not to do that. Sometimes you got to take action, right? I mean, when 9/11 happened, I remember thinking to myself, these buildings are going to fall. And I don't know why I thought that. And I don't know why it entered my head, but it did. And yeah, I'm not talking about Bears Group, by the way. Bears Group is on a different mission. But I remember going down there, And when I got to the Trade Center, I remember looking up and going, this shit's going to get fucking crazy. This is going to get out of hand in a hurry. And I remember looking and saying, shit, I'm going to die. But I still responded anyway. I still did what needed to be done. Because you don't all of a sudden, guys, show up to a scene and go, oh, God told me not to do something. That wasn't it. Now, God can deviate you from certain plans at a certain moment. But he doesn't deviate you from the entire thing. It just doesn't work that way. Right? So, like, I was going to go into building 1. And as I was about to walk into building 1, these 2 white ladies came out of nowhere from England and was like, we want tea and crumpet, sir. And I was like, oh, where do you want tea and crumpet? And I was like, oh, I'll show you. And then I went to show them what tea and crumpet was. They took me away from the building. And then the building fell down. I would have died in that building. That is how God works in mysterious ways. It was these 2, they were English, I think, right? And so they were like, how do we get out of here? And I was like, oh, I'll show you. And instead of going into the building, I showed them how to get out of there, and then the building collapsed. God works in mysterious ways, right? But again, I was on a mission to help people, and then I stayed there after the second building, sucking in all that bullshit, and still continue to help, right? And you just don't throw your hands up and go, oh, God told me to leave. It doesn't work that way. He puts you in an area, and you're going to help, and if shit gets rough, he's going to guide you out of there. That's how it works. And I only use that story as a reference, you know? As a reference of how it worked, how God took me out of that situation, or Jesus, or my grandmother, or one of my guardians, whatever it is. Right? Whatever it was, it took me away from that situation. And years after I thought about it, I was like, holy shit, that's interesting. I was going into that building to help clear it out, to help see if anybody else needed help getting out of there. And these 2 fucking English-ass ladies were like, hey, you know, tea and crumpets, and King Charles, and Prince Diane, you know, and then I went the opposite direction, walking them out of there. So it just worked, right? Sometimes you gotta fucking do the hard shit, man. Sometimes you gotta put your money where your mouth is. And some people will disagree with me and say, yeah, you can't go against God's words. But what if sometimes it's what God needs? Not so much what he wants. Right? So, and we need those kids to survive. Who is Mastermind and why is he 100% wrong? Oh, it's Mastermind. God is your own imagination. The Bible and the characters in it didn't exist in space or time. The characters are different aspects of yourself. You are Jesus. The story is a view of each of us. But yes, past the Great Poupon. They were there. They were that kind of. Yeah, one lady lost a shoe coming down the stairs. In fact, she came down the stairs in building 1, and when she said where she came down, I go, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, no one was coming down the stairs. It was just us and like 2 other people. I was like, no shit. So they came down the infamous staircase X because they were above the crash site. Tristan Davis, thank you for the donation. Right? I mean, I don't know. They got lucky too. They got out of that building, you know, with their shit intact. You know? They got out of the building with their shit intact. So, yeah. It worked out for everybody that day. Anyway, that being said, guys, I'm going to go off the air. I'm tired. I got to do 2 videos, edit, go to sleep, get up at 5 in the morning, shoot some chick in a train station, and then I guess go to work tomorrow morning. But anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it as always. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for just watching my videos and dealing with my bullshit. I appreciate that as always. Other than that, guys, yeah, man, I will see you guys Thursday for the doubleheader. Other than that, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you.